but this time we're rolling.
Yeah. Okay, so basically so for context, a little bit of context, I am myself trying to figure out where I'm going with this podcast. And so I called it a walk through life. My friend gave me that idea, and he was saying that would be a good one for kind of slowing down in our day-to-day. So that, I do like that idea, and I think I'm going to stick with that staple. I like that. But the other part was, when it comes to understanding people and why we are in the situations that we're in terms of world conflict, and then from that bigger scale down to just like interpersonal conflicts.
Yeah.
You know, not between nations, but between two people, individuals.
I got you.
So it's more of, so the other thing too is, so it becomes sensitive if I want to understand more about each person I'm talking to. With a friend like you, I can ask you because we're comfortable with each other. Hey, are you religious? Do you believe in this? Are you going to be monogamous? Do you want a wife? Do you want kids and stuff like that? But with a stranger and somebody you don't really know, it's like, becomes more sensitive. So
I got you. So what's the line like? Because I feel like there's things you ask people when you're trying to be like polite and in good taste, versus things you ask people like sometimes if you're trying to get like a little more provocative, or you're trying to learn more about that person. To like further your friendship. So like what's like a topic generally you would not ask someone about, just in a day-to-day context?
For me, I think I actually want to stay away, this podcast in particular, so I was thinking maybe down the line, if this one is fun, but it becomes too much of like, oh, I feel like we're too limited on what we're talking about. I want a separate podcast strictly for, I was thinking another potential one could be one for mental health. And I don't know if this is gonna flower into that, or if it's gonna be something else, or if I don't go down that route myself. Like, I think you had a great suggestion one time about just like making mental health facilities more widely accessible, and obviously for me that's a personal goal of mine, like to implement that. But probably not through my own podcast, because I have to be skilled enough as like a someone to talk to for any, like, you know, as a podcaster, you have to be able to interview anyone to be like, that's what Joe Rogan's like superpower is kind of right now, is the #1 podcaster.
I got you. So you need to answer my question.
I will answer your question. Okay, so actually, what am I trying to stay away from? Provocative stuff, actually.
Provocative
I
stuff.
do want to stay away from stirring up drama and stuff. I don't want to be like a no jumper. I don't want to be like a Breakfast Club. I don't want to be one of those that is trying to get views. I'm not trying to get views. I'm not trying to stir up controversy or get like the big story. I'm trying to get a true and full understanding of each thing that I'm looking into, whether it's racial issues, just hot button issues in the United States that are actually important, whether it's international stuff, like, you know, really, really sensitive stuff that we're not going to talk about today at all.
Bro, it can't be today.
No, dude. Maybe not even by the end of the year, because we don't know when it's going to get resolved, you know, but...
True.
Yeah, but that aside. So I think, all in all, dude, I think I want to stay more positive, open-minded, and just, I think that's what it is me wanting to accept, just embracing being open-minded, and just like...
But here's the question. What if something blurs the line a little bit between clout chasing and like a noteworthy event? Like so like for example, some celebrity just like pops off in the news. Like Kanye, for example.
Yeah.
Kanye is a great example of this. It is provocative to talk about him, but at the same time, one of like the foremost cultural figures of the 21st century, just becoming a fascist is pretty crazy. We got to talk about it.
Yeah.
But it is negative energy. So what's your stance on that, I guess?
No, I think so. That's a good example, because I don't think that's blurring the lines. I don't think that would be a clout chasing story to report. I think clout chasing is more of it would be defined as like, say nothing is going on with Kanye's career, but all we're talking about is Kanye. Maybe he's on the decline in his you know what I'm saying, like career and stuff like that.
So
clout chasing.
So discussion of Kanye should in some way be tied to either like relevant music or like significant life events.
You know that with Kanye, there's a lot that it could be tied to, whether it's if it's tied to his mental health, whether it's tied to his religious side, and the stuff he's doing. Whether he's one thing that I might be open to talk about very soon, because Jesus is King. Two, yes. The leaks came out, right? And so
wait, did you listen?
I did. I enjoyed
what'd
a
you
lot
think?
of it.
Travis Scott's.
Yeah, dude. Travis,
oh my god.
If you have not heard Jesus is King 2, it's like these leaks with he'd be linked with Dr. Dre and redid, and these are basically just like Jesus King 2.
Bro, the beats are chaotic.
Yeah,
they
it's
are
different.
all. I like it a lot though.
Yeah, it's like I love his gospel like side, and just like he doesn't even have to be doing the most. He just is so creative, and he's an icon already. It's just there's a lot of crazy shit that comes with it, right? But so for me, blurring the
Sorry, finish what you were saying.
Yeah, so for me, the clout chasing would be like just reporting on him because he's doing something crazy and bad in his career or something, versus if I can tie it to something like educational and just say like we're in support of Kanye right now. We're praying for Kanye right now. He might be going through some shit, but this is what we can take away from it. Learn from it.
So I guess also that kind of leads into I don't remember if we got into this last time, but it's the like conversation between ethics and art. Like at what point does someone become so bad of a person that you refuse to acknowledge their art?
Yeah, the separation of art from the artist.
Yeah.
I don't think we got too deep into it. I'm really curious to see what you have to say, because I guess do we just look at real life examples, or is there a general rubric for what will cross the line that we can point out?
Well, it all depends on like your personal ethics, first of all, because people live very different lives and see different things as normal. But like, we still listen to Michael Jackson, but like, do you cringe a little bit every time a Chris Brown song comes on?
I mean, I don't listen to Chris Brown much anymore type shit. I was never like, I like some Chris Brown songs, but I don't know, dude. Dude. Like, for me, it's usually gone to a point where it's like I'm not too tied to an artist, where when something does controversial, when something controversial does happen, I feel like hesitance to stop listening to their music. Like, for the most part, I can tell you the two top cases where it's been hard for me to stop listening to their music. You want to know?
Sure.
The number one is Michael Jackson.
Okay.
And like, I could not just like never listen to Michael Jackson again. I don't think I could die happy if I never heard Billie Jean again or Robert Hugh again. I'm serious, because I really love those songs. Like, I don't know. It's fucked. I mean, maybe that is a stretch. Like, maybe I could if I had to, like, never listen, but
it's tough because listening to their art supports them financially. So I feel like I have a much easier time pirating a Chris Brown song morally than I do listening to it on Spotify.
That's a good point.
And I would never go see a Chris Brown concert.
Are you a big Chris Brown fan? Like,
No.
That's a good, okay. That's a good. I don't know if I would consider myself the biggest Chris Brown fan. Like, I couldn't name you 5 Chris Brown songs.
Oh shit! Can I name 5 Chris Brown
I
songs?
definitely can. I know his song with I think it's called Stranger Things with Jordan Lucas. It's pretty good. He has.
He's on Only with Nicki Minaj.
Only.
He's probably on.
Look at Me Now. You know that one, Busta Rhymes?
Yeah. Oh my God.
That one. But okay, so he definitely has hits. You can't deny that, right?
Oh yeah, but Chris Brown is like.
So that's what
he's a bit like before me.
So I think I think I got ourselves more into when does it become easier or harder to stop listening to an artist when it's controversial versus when does it cross the line? When is it like you should kind of separate yourself? And that's so I guess if I ask myself that question, like, what do I think is too bad? I think definitely just like things that are unnecessary to talk about in your music.
Yeah.
Racist and racial stuff, homophobic and transphobic stuff. Like, it's a good example. So I was watching some YouTube earlier. I watched this YouTube review of this whole album. Have you ever heard of Tom McDonald?
Oh my God!
Have you heard
bro.
of Adam Calhoun?
I have heard of Tom McDonald, and he's just like the white dude, and he's got dreads, and he's just pasty and overweight.
Have you heard of White Boy?
I don't think I want to.
You don't, bro. Oh my gosh, like it's bad. It's bad. Basically, his whole view is like he's a right-wing conservative, I'm pretty sure, and he's just like, fight for freedom, American rights and stuff, but I think a lot of it is grifting. I think a lot of it is he says a lot of things to get a rise out of people and for the clout, and he just keeps on getting more and more popular.
See, but we're talking about him right now.
Exactly. Exactly. But, okay, here's what I wanted to bring up, though, was kind of his latest album he made with Adam Calhoun, which is kind of his, like, partner in crime. He's this white dude who just proudly and openly says the N-word in his music. And just like, I don't give a fuck. It's freedom of speech. The big thing is, like, they're promoting freedom of speech. Like, I can say what I want, and I can believe what I want. And it's like, I think for the large part, from the characters that they play, or if it is who they are traditional, and they are against, this whole LGBTQ stuff and the trans like things happening, and it's like.
Okay, so you want to hear? I got a wild take about the First Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
I think videos and like statements that you publish online aren't free speech. I think they're content. Mm-hmm. Because algorithms control how your speech is released to the public. Speech is meant to be in person to people. The reason we don't have limits on free speech in person is because we can't talk to that many people at a time. Mm-hmm. There should be more limits on huge videos and what you can say. Mm-hmm. And companies are starting to do that because it's their company, and it's like hard to stomach that online speech isn't real speech, but even though it is speech, how it reaches you is different than normal speech reaches you. So it's content instead.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy. I was like, something that's kind of similar that I was thinking about. So if I try to upload music through SoundCloud or YouTube mm-hmm. or something, and it's I'm doing an interpolation where I don't know if I would be able to clear that same instrumental because it's used for like a hit song. The last one being like Kid Cudi's Day and Night.
Yeah.
So that one I couldn't upload to Spotify, SoundCloud, anything. I couldn't upload to SoundCloud because it was a copyrighted instrumental. So I have to figure out a way to do it so it's like it works right. But it's those like besides those for like if you want to upload a music or a video or something, if you can't upload it to YouTube, it's like where are you gonna upload it where it's gonna get, like on an actual mainstream platform? It's like it's so limited.
I think it would be nice if there were less like huge platforms like YouTube, Twitch. I think it's better so that people can choose different ones to go to. There's not like a monopoly.
Question for you: if one social media has to go right now.
TikTok.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Sorry, I hit you so hard.
No, you're good, bro.
TikTok.
Except
that's fine. That's okay. Yeah, I feel you. Dude, yeah.
Okay, but what's next? What's next?
Yeah, next is probably. I think we could go with Instagram. We could probably get rid of Instagram. We wouldn't. It's not a necessity at all.
Dude, I think we gotta get rid of X.
Oh shit! I mean, I don't even use Twitter. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Twitter's next for sure. Or X. Fuck it. I haven't used that. I haven't used Twitter in 5+ years, bro. I've been hearing the whole time in the background. It's a shitstorm. It's still going.
Bro, I deleted that shit on January 1st, 2022.
Proud of you.
I was like,
does it feel good? How does it feel?
It feels
like being clean off heroin.
It's just negativity, occasional funny, ironic thing. Mm-hmm. And then also one thing I do on social medias, which I shouldn't do, is I just go to like the Explore page and just browse that shit. And it is a nightmare, bro.
That's why I said Instagram next, because I go to the Explore page. Not only is it wasting a bunch of time, but I also, sooner or later, end up coming across content, I probably shouldn't be into, what I'm saying? Just like, I'm talking about like, models, and then you get into like
Just
beauty
trash,
stuff,
bro.
and you start getting just like dragged down and dragged down. And on top of that, like the scam artists trying to hit you up in the like, and then the catfishes in the DMs. I'm just tired of
And also
all
just
that.
like
I don't
random
really-
like drama bullshit. You see it
Yeah.
so much.
Oh, also with like these Snapchat used to not be the monster it is today.
Oh
It's
my God,
bad.
bro.
It's bad, bro. Because I always check it because it has like those notification things making me think that I was like something interesting to check out. I'll be like, damn, 10 minutes. Where's those 10 minutes going? Because I was just looking at stupid ass headlines, and it's like, I don't need to be doing.
Dude, the stupid headlines are
Stupid.
they're
very stupid. Like,
they're wildly dumb, bro.
like I see, okay, maybe eventually, like every now and then, I'll admit I'll watch like a drama alert, or I'll watch like this shit. No. It's the Savage Post is one that comes up. They
Dude,
do hip hop news. And stuff.
Here's the thing: we're not perfect, and it's being shoved in our faces all the time, which is just like wild. If you want to keep that shit out of your life, you got to make a really conscious effort to do so. But people who just give in to that make that shit really popular.
Yeah, dude. I'll be honest, cause I got a screen time alert the other day, and I was not pleasantly surprised to see how big it was. Like, I don't know. It's just because like sometimes with YouTube, that's another thing. I just like find myself up sometimes like, you know how you'll start with like a 10-minute video, and then the very next video it'll suggest to you is a 3-hour long live stream.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen to you?
Yes.
So that's another thing that's like, they want like whoever like the companies writing these, they want you to be on social media, on your phone 24/7. Apple wants you to be on your phone, and social media wants you to be on all their social medias all the time. So
Yeah.
and so it's just about if we can make a social media that's more positive, and I'm not going to be the one to do that. I don't give a fuck enough to do that, but
Dude, I think we're too far beyond getting rid of social media. To say everyone stop now is just like it's not worth it.
can I ask you this? How real do you think the impending blackout is?
Impending blackout, explain more.
Just the conspiracy theory that one day all electricity will go out in the world.
No, it's the world's so big, bro. You see shit like that happen. There's no one with the resources to put all the electricity. That's like a cosmic level event, bro. It's not happening.
I know, dude. It got my head spinning when I first read about it. It had me a little bit paranoid. Because I was like, dang, what if it did happen? But yeah, I don't.
It would have to be some like radiation from outer space or some bullshit.
That's a good point that the world is too big. Because like, if all the entire U.S. went out, then we have allies that could probably help us out, supply some powers, or I don't know how it would happen. But
It depends on the circumstances.
did we have more points? Should we get back on track? Or are we good? Like,
Just like social media being a cancer, eliminating Twitter, getting
Yeah.
rid of TikTok. Oh, so we're only going to touch on this briefly probably because I've only seen headlines and I've been too busy to research, but they're thinking about getting rid of TikTok in some states.
right. Didn't they already
think
ban it in
Utah and-
Germany? Didn't they? Or no, not in Germany. Oh, right. In one of the states.
The names
Right.
I heard were Montana and
Yeah, it is a
Utah
couple.
was considering it,
You're
but
right, not other countries, the states. Yeah.
I think that's really cool. The thing is, people are going to get it bootleg. Those little addicts just
How did they do that?
just like VPN.
Oh, okay.
It, like, just always have a
say that
VPN.
they're in the next state or something.
Always have a VPN on when you browse it.
Crazy. They're just that addicted. They need it that much.
Well, also those people are like they could be concerned about their freedom for real.
Oh,
Because like when the government starts saying you're not free to own an app, when does that become a problem?
but wouldn't that be less of a problem because doesn't that app like technically gather a lot of like user data?
It's a Chinese app.
Yeah. So we don't want to be on it for that reason as well, right? Like, I think it's good that. Well, I don't know. Okay, so if they're gonna say they can't use it, it's bad. Like, how would you say so that
So-
them banning it is bad for the people?
So it's because it's the government infringing upon the rights of U.S. citizens.
Like
So
the freedom to just have apps on their phone.
have apps on your phone. Yeah. So what if they do that and then they ban? I don't know, like they wouldn't go for Facebook, but like some other app that's like kind of important.
So, do you know the reason why they banned it, or because I'm kind of curious, like
Because they said the threat of the Chinese government is too much.
Okay, so it's technically
They are collecting surveillance
in
on
terms
us.
of the state government or the federal government. It's helping. It's helping.
They
personal
already have so much data on us, bro. The Chinese.
It's too late, right?
It's too
So
late.
that's why,
It's far too late, but we can cut back on it, I think.
And so here's a good, really important follow-up question: is like, what can the Chinese do with our information, our user information, user data?
Information warfare. You know how the Russians in 2016 were pushing disinformation that like propelled Trump into office?
Yeah.
That was like
that's
child's play compared to what the Chinese are going to do to us.
So they can just like manipulate.
If you show people something enough times and it aligns near enough with their like beliefs, they're going to start to believe it.
So what did Russia do again for Trump?
Yeah, so they just had like armies of like bot postings that would go on like Facebook.
Just bringing his numbers
Yeah.
up, like just having with ratio everybody on Twitter and shit.
Not even that, but like they would post comments like everywhere. Like online, Facebook was the big one.
See,
But that's just pro-Trump, and then people who kind of like Trump are like, oh, huge comment section, bunch of likes, everyone saying they love Trump. They think they're in touch with the people because like they're like Trump loves the people love him.
Okay, but so this might be a dumb question, but
Okay.
can't people create like programs that create those bots anyways?
Yeah.
Then what would be the need to get like real user in data, like for the Chinese to get our data?
So they know in what ways they can influence us. So you get this you get this
Americans talking
mountain
and
you get
see
this
how
like
they-
mountain of fucking data, and then you just filter, and then suddenly you're like, okay, throw a little like propaganda, maybe like anti-Taiwan propaganda, for example, like at people, because I believe China will move to take over Taiwan in the next 10. How did we get onto this topic? But
TikTok.
yeah.
TikTok.
But they have this mountain of data, then maybe they'll push it out to you in a way that's like very subtle, to the point where you will barely notice, just like barely anti-Taiwan. So you move the needle of the U.S. citizens being okay.
Oh my God, I'm so
and then,
glad you brought that up.
And then
Yeah,
you
finish.
just,
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
good.
like over time. Do it over the course of 50 years, bro. The Chinese think long.
And then eventually other nations will start to hate Taiwan as well, type thing.
Yeah.
Like that's so that I'd like to drop a word that is like the central focus of the comm class I'm taking right now. It's really interesting because it has to do with what's happening to us as the American public, and then what happens to every country depending on how their government operates. It's called hegemony. And hegemony,
Fire word, bro. I know
right?
all about hegemony.
Bro. Look up hegemony, because this is important. This is important if you're an American citizen. If you're watching from some other country and you're not 100% happy with your government, and you're questioning maybe your government's morals and whether or not they're hiding things from you, like hegemony is basically saying that it's the subtle way of implementing values that your upper class or government will want the lower class or the general public to
I
believe.
got a
Without
really
them knowing, yeah.
I got a really concise definition of it.
Oh, yeah.
That I like.
Word.
It's just cultural superset. So like
Superset.
a set of values, that is like ingrained in
Oh,
most
yeah,
of the
yeah,
American
yeah. Like
public.
an umbrella, kind of.
Like it's okay that like companies own everything. It's one set of beliefs, then all those just piled together, and the hegemony is like the current ruling thought structure or the cultural superset.
So our hegemony and superset, would you say that's capitalism?
Yes.
In America.
Yes.
Yeah, the U.S. is capitalist society. Everything falls under that. The corporations, what happens, the relations between the government and corporate America, very important because they work hand in hand to manipulate a lot of things, just like we were just talking about.
And then where a lot of people, I think, start to get I think here's where a lot of people start to get confused. Because lots of the time people say that we have a white straight male hegemony. Like it favors those people, cis men as well. And I think overall, on average, even if it's like 55% to 45%, that's true. But to become so angry and frustrated at this fact discounts how your individual interactions can go. Because you can't change anything by just being angry. If you want to stand up against things you perceive to be wrong, you got to like lead the way.
Right. I think that's a great point, because like it's basically about generalization too. If you generalize, nobody likes to be generalized. If
Absolutely.
You think about it, nobody would, because I mean, even if it's a positive thing, you say like, if you were to say, okay, I don't want to say any, like, okay, can I think of a non-offensive example? All blank women are beautiful and gorgeous. Not all of that kind of women are going to want to be generalized because they might not like feel as confident or something, like they're stuck in a box.
It's tough because absolute generalizations are the heart of the problem. We like to see the world in like nice, pretty ways, but shit's messy.
Yeah, it's not quite like that saying "absolute power corrupts." Or
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. But it's a little similar. It's in that kind of same vein. Just we shouldn't do things in the form of absolutes, like or extremes. We definitely shouldn't hold extremes. And what extremes values do we hold in like America?
I think they're, yeah. But then the thing is, like, what happens when you need something extreme to fix something that's fucked up?
Right. For example, would you fit like gun control in that, or like gun law and legislation?
But then you also have to think in terms of practicality, not what should I do, but also what can I do, which is another very tricky part of things.
Yeah.
Because what you should do about guns and what you can do about guns are different fucking things.
Right, and so you have to look at your resources. So another thing, so kind of like branching off the hegemony part was making up every civilization is the social groups that comprise it, whether it's the men, women, and children usually wouldn't be their own groups, right?
Yeah, I think they are.
Yeah, okay. But it's just like, usually they're not like, you don't see societies usually, which like children with their own like leadership, like faction. Maybe
True.
Back in the day, maybe that's been a part of history, but you know what I'm saying? So like the social groups.
Do you mind if I cut in? Even in like middle and high school social groups, there are like dominant members of those social groups who have livelier, like
very true,
more command within the group.
There's all types of dynamics. It could be from like a high school, college standpoint. You know what I'm saying? There's social groups here.
Continue what you were saying.
Yeah, so I think I was getting into
social groups making up a hegemony.
Yeah, the social groups make up the hegemony, and so they all have limited resources to work with, because all your resources combined make up your nation, right? So if you're all on the same page, if you're all you guys can be different social groups, but all be working collectively as a team, and so you guys can pool your resources and be like a big team.
That's the dream, but the rich don't like to work with the poor.
Exactly, and so that's why we're fucked, basically. That's why we're fucked. Because the government and the and the 1% at the corporations, the CEOs and stuff of the biggest corporations in the world, Amazon, in the U.S., Amazon and shit like that, won't want to share the resources and won't want to, because they're in control. Basically, part of the ideology goes is once you're in control, you're so hesitant to give up that because it's at the risk of losing your power. Yeah. And you don't trust those people to give you the same type of liberties or to be as even nice as you are. Even if if you're not a good leader, you're definitely not going to want to give, like, if people don't respect you and love you as your leader, then as their leader, then they will not take kindly to you. So like, basically, Okay, there's a historic. Should I go into the history a little bit too? Because I can go like.
How far back are we talking?
No. There's just like a small little part.
Sure.
That just feeds into the hegemony. So, what am I trying to say here? So, never mind. I'm getting too caught up on all this stuff.
All right.
It's all.
You might have
in class, so it's like getting drilled in my head.
You mind if I attempt to hit a segue?
Yes.
So we were talking about different social groups, and I think those social groups can also like include gendered social groups like men and women, and it's expressed in everywhere that these groups have different traits that all come together to form masculinity and femininity. So we talked about talking about this on just like before we even started.
Yeah.
But what do you think it means to be a man, like culturally?
Yeah, that's a good question, bro. Okay, so I think, and we're talking about in terms of today's context. Yeah, today, I think being a man is about being able to take care of yourself as and all of your responsibilities that you have in life. And I think being an ideal man, and if you're asking me to, this is kind of like part of my personal belief too, I think a true man is able to provide for himself, like take care of himself and provide for at least one other person. In theory, a woman, I think I'd say. And maybe just like be able to be a father figure if you need to.
So responsibility, ability to provide, then all right. So
I think those responsibility, fatherhood was fit into responsibility. So really, just being able to provide for yourself and others. I'd say that's a big part of it, and being able to protect yourself versus like the forces of nature, including other people. Yes.
I got you. So, kind of, I wanted to address how are those inherently masculine traits? Like, I don't think you would say that about like femininity, which is the opposite, not the opposite, but the complement. Even though motherhood involves responsibility and providing even more so than fatherhood, I would say, because you're literally nourishing a child with your body.
Yeah, so I think nurture is the word I was gonna say too. It's like nature versus nurture. I think women's, if you ask me what femininity is versus masculinity, I think the femininity part is being able to like nourish, and I think a woman like they just like have their like the sauce, bro. So they
Dude, women do have the sauce.
they childbear. They have childbearing responsibilities, and that's huge.
You were about to say hips.
Nah, it's crazy, bro. But still though, like, okay, so, what else would you say? Like, what do you think?
I think we're just so fucked up because we wrap ourselves up in the image of the man. Like, it's not enough. I feel like in culture, it's not enough to just strive to embody the traits that you like have abstracted. A lot of people look up to other men and be like they represent the image of a man, because as long as you're responsible and able to provide both of those things, I agree with you. You don't need any else of this bullshit.
So here's what I say. Here's the best distinction and the biggest thing that's prevalent in today is the fatherhood part, bro. I think the fatherhood and being a family figure, and being able to be that glue.
Talk to him.
Be that glue, bro. Because, and you were saying, you really connected those dots for me, because you can look at somebody who is highly respected. Look at, okay, I'm gonna bring up a stupid example because I don't think he's respected in hip hop, but like at the same time, not really. Playboy Carti, right?
Where is this going?
Hear me out. Promise, bro. Look, this is a good example because you can look at him like he's making millions. He's made a few hit songs. He's doing his thing. He's gonna be successful, and he's gonna he has a kid now, right?
Yeah.
But is he taking care of that kid, or has he always taken care of that kid the way that he should, as a traditional father figure should? Like, you might not know the story, but I do know the story, and I can tell you that no, he fucking missed his son's birthday or some bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would never I'm not a father yet, but I can never see myself missing one of my kids, especially one of their first birthdays. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just find that pretty fun. Or the birth. I think it might have been the birth of his fucking son, dude.
Yeah.
And I just think that's a big deal. That's some deadbeat dad shit, and I think the biggest thing that ties it in all this is what separates, I don't know, you would call it something from a man.
Okay, so the other thing is there's another element to I feel like we both just described what we consider an ideal version of masculinity.
Yeah.
But there's another factor wrapped up in the cultural form of masculinity, and that's dominance.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Because, bro,
yeah, okay. So where you at?
that talks about the physical, being strong, being big, which of course helps you to provide.
Yeah.
But if you're smart enough, you don't need to be strong. It's still good to take care of your body.
Yes.
But to take care of your body, dominate other men. Pause.
No, dude, no. There's a very fine line. I think it's important that eventually we keep working on this definition and make it really precise. Mm-hmm. Because, bro, I don't think it's about. I think as a man you should be strong. Every man should be strong. There shouldn't be no weak man. I don't think like physically weak. I'm saying no, not even physically weak. I mean mentally.
But I feel like dominance is exercising that strength in a way that displays a power difference between people.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think all men should be strong. Not all men should be dominant. And there's a difference. I don't think those are really synonymous. I don't think strength and dominance in general are synonymous.
By definition, they're linked, but it depends on how much you buy into it. Do you have a charger? You're about to run out of battery.
We can just, we might have to...
Wait, I might have one.
Do you have an Apple laptop?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Do you have a USB-C?
Oh.
Yeah, no.
Do I not? Is that the same? Oh, it's a different fucking time. Damn, bro. I forgot it last second. Yeah, I forgot. Fuck, my bad. Hey, man. Honestly, I'd be cool. We could just work with this for now and just, pause it and then just, have everything that we have here.
We got 37 minutes. Let's see how long is left on the battery. Actually, we can also turn the brightness way down.
Oh, yeah. You can turn the display off if you want. Just, on 1. There you go. It's probably, when it says that, it's 10% or under, maybe 5.
10%? Okay, let's go. We'll throw another thing at 5.
I can get the notification out, so it'll come up again when it's 5%, I think.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Should we clap? Do a little 3, 2, 1.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Dude, this is great, dude. We're in a classroom for the first time in here. I like it. This is my poetry classroom.
So, cool. Anyway,
yeah,
dominance and strength.
So I think the key difference is that with dominance, that's displaying the aggressive side of your strength. But with strength and, let's say, constraint.
Yeah.
Your ability to constrain yourself in moments where you might not say, should fight, but in a moment where you could lash out and be over aggressive just to show your dominance. But you show constraint, and I think that is a more of a higher level masculine, Sigma versus Alpha. I'm not one to really
don't
talk.
ever say that shit.
We're not saying Sigma and Alpha.
Don't ever say that shit to me.
Actually, that's the last time I say it. The last time. That's crazy.
Don't ever say that shit to me.
Hilarious, bro. It's so cringe. So fucking cringe.
No, but the ability to constrain yourself to prevent using that strength to harm, I think also is a very good masculine quality.
Yeah, unnecessarily use that force. You know what I'm saying? Say, good example. In case if people watching are having trouble understanding, it's if you're at a party, some dude tries like talking to your girl, and okay, no, like because you probably knock his ass out, but like
hold on, don't. I probably wouldn't. Keep
okay,
going.
Okay, but let's say he just says something like disrespectful and passive.
If he
but,
touches my girl, I'm attacking him physically.
right, that's what I'm saying. So that's the difference. So that's something that's worth fighting over, probably. I mean,
to protect your own.
Yeah,
for
protect
sure.
Yeah, exactly. But if someone were just to say something or just like crack a joke and you just lost your temper and just start like wailing on this dude, and then all of a sudden you're in handcuffs and shit, that's a terrible look, and you don't look like a a man that should be looked up to.
It's just like how much ego gets wrapped up in it too.
Oh, can I link something to this with
For
masculinity?
sure.
So. When we talk about the UFC and UFC fighters and stuff, a lot of it is like, do you think you have to be a true man to be in the UFC, no? Just based off that, like, true grit, like, you're a fighter, like, you're a man, right?
You can be pretty immature, but like, I think they're like part of that definition of men.
From a physical standpoint, for sure.
Definitely
maybe
strong
not
men.
always. Maybe not always mentally.
Yeah. Mentally, they do some tough ass shit. So I mean,
like mentally, you can be like that's what that's saying. Like,
but can they provide? Can they provide that physical dominance? Like in a sanctioned sporting way helps them to provide.
For sure.
But like if they don't go to the trouble of doing it, they might. I'm not gonna name anyone because I don't know anyone, but there might be like hypothetical someone who fits that definition so closely on the outside, but then on the inside you get into their family matters, their private life. They might not represent themselves in a way becoming of a man.
John Jones.
John Jones.
Do you know about John Jones?
I just know he does drugs.
He does drugs. He did a hit and run on a pregnant woman. He hit her with his car and ran away on like a drug bender in the middle of like a fight camp for one of the biggest fights of his career against Daniel Cormier. So that happened. Failed multiple drug tests, but he's widely praised as the GOAT of all time for UFC, for combat sports.
He is.
You could make that argument for sure, but it's just like things like that irk me, you know?
Yeah.
Right? It's like things like that things like, Andrew Tate, you know what I'm saying? Like things like fucking Kanye even. With all of them.
I think the thing is like people when they're talking about how to improve your masculinity and be more in touch with what it means to be a man, like people wrap their ego up a lot of it because some people just have destroyed confidence.
Yeah, that's true.
But there's a difference between having no confidence, being super into your ego, or just like restraining yourself, like we talked about earlier.
Yeah,
and no one even pays attention to that. We kind of admire people who are like that, who are humble.
Yeah,
but we don't. That's not a praised value. The value is getting more likes and shit.
Yeah, like that's something that I have always respected. Respect.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's a real saying, but it sounds like it's a real saying.
Yeah.
But it makes sense too. Real recognizes real. That's the better way to say it. I'm stupid, but still, it's a real thing because, and that's even real. Also recognizes fake and somebody who's unworthy of you, like going and losing your temper because they don't understand that it's in your best interest to constrain yourself versus fight, where they might say, you should fight me right now. I'm calling you all types of things. Why aren't you fighting me? You're a pussy. You're this, that. But no, it's I'm mastering my mind. You don't get it yet. You don't understand. Real men don't interact how we are right now. How that thing.
Dude, it's just so fucked up. Oh, this is super. Oh no, it caught up a little bit. It was super behind for a second.
Yeah,
but
we'll maybe wrap it to like 3 minutes or so because I don't know if it dies, if my laptop dies, if we're gonna lose it.
We're almost like 45 minutes in. Do we want to call it there?
I mean, do you want to say anything else? You had anything you'd like to wrap up with?
I stream on Twitch,
twitch.tv/
I hate Dillon. I do chess streams.
He's really good at chess, bro. He's teaching me.
I'm mid.
No. Okay, Yeah, bro. Catch the next episode. I think this was episode 3. I keep saying I'm gonna try and do this every week, but I'm also in school. I'm gonna still try and do it every week. And yeah, we gotta turn the stream off because my laptop's gonna die. So.